We thought we were following the dinosaurs. But we ended up making tracks.
The Lost World Jurassic Park.
We were out to capture a raptor in our net trapper when suddenly a bull T-Rex. His roar shook right through us. Fire! That's when the bull T-Rex got keyed off. Dino damage! Even the survival pod couldn't save us from his bone-crunching jaws.
Something has survived. Look for the mark of Jurassic Park figures and vehicles, each sold separately.
Let's get some good sandwich ASMR right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
This is a turkey bacon club from Tim Hortons.
Uh-huh. How's it treating you?
It's a pretty solid, it's a pretty reliable sandwich, right?
Yeah, one would think.
But the weather is really cold out there. It's really blustery.
Mm-hmm.
And the short walk, again, not
Across
to dox Alex too much, but the short walk across the street from the Tim Hortons.
Almost directly across.
Almost directly across from a certain major intersection in Toronto with a subway stop and a streetcar. And a number of other, a 7-Eleven on the corner.
They all have that pretty much at this point.
But that short walk has made the sandwich ice cold.
Is it really hard?
It's very hard and it's very cold. The bread, it feels like the kind of bread you would get like in a ration situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let's get hyper fucking Canadiana on their asses for a hot second. Because a few weeks ago, for lunch, I was like, it was also a cold, blustery day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bit of a further walk from my office at work, but I was like, I'm going to get a soup from Tim Hortons. So I walked my ass over to this Tim Hortons.
What intersection? Where did you work? What company did you work for?
It's a far enough of a walk that I can comfortably say that.
What are your measurements, Alex?
It was close to Lansdowne and Bloor, though not exactly there.
I know exactly where that Tim Hortons is.
Yes, because perchance you might not live far from...
I don't live far from it. And in fact, occasionally on my visit from there's an A to B to C and occasionally D to go from my apartment to the Value Village that will only be there for so long because they're making it into a condo.
Are they?
Yes, and that I'm afraid to go to because I recently in a fit of I wouldn't say rage, but I would say frustration at how long the lineup was.
A Value Village?
I just walked right out of there with some goods. I very much in front of everybody. I just said, I'm not going to wait for 20 minutes because they will only have one cash open on like a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Do you know what I know they're closing down, but anyway, so I haven't been back since. Anyway, but the Tim Hortons is sort of right in the middle between that Valley Village and the Salvation Army thrift store.
Yes.
You have to be careful though.
So you know it.
That Salvation Army is not open on Sundays because it's the Lord's Day.
True. That would make sense, yeah.
I'm pretty good at this.
Okay, here's the bit. It's Ben, and it's the song Thrift Shop by Macklemore, but it's all about stealing from the thrift shop. Yeah, and you're just kind of prancing around in your big fur coat being like, I'm going to steal from the poor.
Steal from the poor?
No, I'm joking, you know.
You steal from Valley Village, ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's true, yeah.
Salvation Army? Nothing wrong with that either.
Fuck them.
If you're stealing clothes, maybe. But if you're stealing DVDs, poor and destitute people who don't even necessarily shop at those stores Salvation Army, the prices aren't insane, but the prices at Valley Village are stupid now.
Super stupid, especially because
it is not a it's a for-profit business. It is not some community organization.
No, I, may or may not live close to one of those Value Village boutiques. And they're shockingly expensive for what they are. But I don't live close to one. I just happen to know one within a 24-block radius of where I live.
Next to the BMV where you live. Which is next to a sleep country, which is, we're going to name all the businesses along these two streets.
Yeah, but you got to throw in some red herrings. Like, I also live close to that,
Come on.
Burger King. I live close to that Burger King.
Yeah, you're right. There is no Burger King, right? This is the bit. There's also that Toys R Us you live next to. That'll really throw them.
That Zellers.
Yeah, there's a famous Zellers that is actually the basement of Alex's apartment.
But anyway, point is, I went to this Tim Hortons to get a soup.
Oh yeah,
I
this is
walk
the
in.
content people listen for. This me eating the sandwich. You talking about
soup? The Canadianicast. But they didn't even have soup on the menu. I went in and they were like, "Get like a flatbread pizza." I was like, "What the fuck?" It's.
Have you ever tried that?
No.
It's really. I mean, stretching the definition of both flatbread and pizza. I don't really know what it is.
I wound up getting a sandwich that was, on the board, not unlike the sandwich you got, but in practice, it looked way worse than currently what you're eating. And I was just there's no real consistency between Tim Hortons. It feels like every Tim Hortons franchisee can kind of do whatever they want with it, And of course, obviously, long gone are the days where it's just like a reliable like coffee, soup, and donut place. Now it's like chicken tenders.
I mean, yes, no, you're right. It is like a competitor for fast food items. It's like a new McDonald's. And in fact, where I live, across the street from my apartment building, is a McDonald's that is attached to a subway station. I wonder where that is. Yeah. Toronto locals. And
St. Clair.
There's another building that is, I don't think it's open yet, but another building like condo or whatever residence that they built, that the first floor has like shops, and the only one is opened, and it is a Tim Hortons. I haven't been there yet, but I will potentially be going on Sunday morning before guests arrive at my disgusting apartment, which I have to desperately have to clean.
Are you hosting some sort of social?
I am hosting a film screening.
Oh, that's fun.
Isn't that fun?
A big crowd pleaser, I imagine, for a group of everyone get together.
A Sunday morning film screening.
Okay.
That will take until Sunday evening.
Oh, so it's like a Lord of the Rings marathon or something?
No.
Okay.
It is one film, Alex.
One film.
One exciting film.
You're not watching Bellatar's Satan Tango without me.
Oh, I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dream of it, Alex. But that's very close because this film is similar in length and perhaps... I don't know. I don't really know what Satan Tango's about. I'm watching Claude Lanzmann's 9.5 hour long Holocaust documentary Shoah.
Very good.
Yes. It came, well, we can give a shout out to friends of the pod, Yuki and Nico. It came up when Nico and I met and kind of, we're talking about World War II films and Holocaust depictions in films and so on. And it's talking about how, light, airy topic. Talking about how I'd never seen it and I really wanted to. For years, I've been trying to kind of, because I don't just want to do it alone. I kind of want to experience it with somebody and make it make a day of it,
Sure.
And, I've done that a few other times actually with my roommate Pat at one point in university. I don't know why we were stoners, right? So we just we watched another Criterion box set, The Human Condition. I don't remember what it's a series of. This is more of a Lord of the Rings thing, where it's a series of 3 Japanese World War II films. Okay. I should remember the director's name. They are not necessarily meant to be watched together, but also have screened together. And so, whatever. I think they came out a few years apart, maybe. Yeah. We decided, all right, let's do this. Pat was really into war movies. So let's do this. Fucking rip in the bong all day. And that was solidly 9 or 10 hours. Yeah. And I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I don't remember much about it, but I remember it feeling like I really accomplished something today. For a day where I sat on my ass and smoked weed, I really accomplished something. And you could chart the one thing we remember probably the most from that movie is you could chart the main soldier's descent into madness by his beard growth. By the end of it, he's looks like he's been through hell and he's got a big beard.
He looks like a warlock.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's. I am looking forward to it, and we will report back on it on the next episode, Jurassic Park 3 / Showa. This is Ben here, editing the show on Monday. I just want to say sorry it's late. Show day was a huge success, but Saturday took up all my time cleaning the apartment, and then I went to a hotel gala, which was kind of like going to work. And then Sunday, I watched the 9.5-hour documentary, which took, over 12 hours with breaks and things. I just didn't have time to edit it, so I'm sorry. I'm editing it now, and it'll come out late. But you have to remember, it's in the service of cinema, okay? Masaki Kobayashi, that's who made The Human Condition, who also made Kwaidan, which is a great Japanese horror anthology that I know you would really like.
Yeah, sounds like something I would.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing, you're the only person who could kind of like convince a group of people to, take them to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was kind of Nico's idea, really.
Yeah.
He was super game.
Yeah.
Right?
You guys, I could picture you guys just kind of like, caught fire in the conversation, right?
Yeah, we were fucking riffing, bro.
Yeah.
On a level that was freaking sublime.
We should get together on a Sunday and watch Showa. Yeah.
You know what's funny? When we were setting up the date, we had like a little message group or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "How's this day? For our first like session with Showa or whatever, like our first like chunk of it." And I said, "Oh no, my dear boy. The reason I haven't
the thought.
Yeah, the reason I haven't just watched Showa is because you have to watch it all together. It's not Berlin Alexanderplatz, for example.
It's not
like
meant to be
14
watched
hours, which is
in
like a TV
episodes.
show.
Yeah.
It's not Twin Peaks: The Return, despite what MoMA did. You could watch it all 18 hours of it if you wanted to, and maybe you should, but it's not necessarily intended that way.
No.
Showa is a movie. It's a 9.5-hour movie.
Hell yeah.
And we're going to watch it. Yeah.
Also, so when I went to see May December in theaters at the Lightbox, friend of the pod, I wasn't sitting with them, but friend of the pod, Austin, was going as well. And I see him kind of come into the theater, followed, and I spoke to his boyfriend about it after the showing.
Boyfriend?
Yes, he does.
Is that a new boyfriend?
Pardon?
Is that a new boyfriend?
Is it a new boyfriend?
Is it new?
Relatively new. Yeah, I think they've been dating since at least the summer.
Congratulations, Austin.
Yeah.
Francis, shout out.
He's a nice guy. His name's Dave.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good sign.
Strong name.
I like guys named Dave.
Like
Got
your
a brother
brother
named David. Yeah. He's a David, though. Not
Strictly David, yeah. But yeah, his boyfriend was like, so Austin comes up the stairs with like a freaking squadron of people, you know what I mean? And his boyfriend after the show, I went out, I was just sitting by myself, so I just kind of like left. I wanted to go home. Mm-hmm. But I spoke to his boyfriend because he's like, only Austin could like marshal together like a group of gays to like go to the cinema or something, you know?
I in spirit, I agree with you. However, I'm pretty sure there are many squadrons of gays going to see May December. You know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah.
Like that specific movie.
I could see that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but no, I mean, the spirit of what you're saying, I agree.
You and him, I feel like inspire kind of event movie going, where I'm more of like a solo. I'm a lone wolf movie goer.
Well, I'm a lone wolf movie goer tonight. I'd like to go alone. Yeah. But you're right. I do like it is an event.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on the movie. May December, big event movie, big tent pole.
Yeah, I saw it with Devin at TIFF. It was a lot of fun.
Unfortunately lost the best comedy award at the Golden Globes.
Yes, too bad. Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, it is funny, I think, but
it is funny, but it did lose to Poor Things, which I think was more intentionally and raucously funny.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own. But, it is funny.
I just would have put it in the drama category, but it's the Golden Globes.
Yeah, no, I guess.
They do whatever they want.
Who knows what they're up to? Yeah. The sketchy people.
Yeah, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
Yeah, and it's not just because they have foreign in their name. Well, I mean, it is.
Partly.
It's partly that. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, speaking of theater going, have you? What have you seen? Seen anything else?
Yeah, I have.
Since we last discussed JP?
Oh, I certainly have.
All right,
it just
tell
came
me.
to me.
Lay it on me.
But before, so I did watch some stuff that we're not going to talk about now because we're going to do an end of the year episode.
Yeah. And listeners, we're going to say maybe the end of January. How about that? Like end of the month, beginning of February, that we're going to drop our year-end list. It's reasonable. Give us time to catch up. I got to go. I'm going to see All of Us Strangers tonight.
Yeah.
From one of my, I hesitate to say favorite directors, but a director I really like, Andrew Haig. And it would be nice if it made me cry. We'll see. I've heard mixed things. Okay, what did you see?
So don't want to talk about it too much now because it'll inevitably come up. But Leo, the Adam Sandler Netflix iguana film.
What?
No, I did watch it. I watched it with kids, and it was a totally fine little movie.
Is it animated?
It's animated,
Oh,
yeah. He voices
okay.
like a type of iguana.
Oh.
And it's a musical, too. And he's kind of doing a dumb voice.
It's a Netflix thing, I guess, right?
Yeah, and it's just like super duper palatable, goes down easy. It honestly made me laugh a couple times, so I was like, you know what, whatever.
Okay.
This one is actually we're gonna have to talk about at the year-end episode. I watched Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
I watched it with my mom.
Oh, me too. I watched it with my mom and dad.
And it was quite an experience.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It's really good,
It
isn't
was
it?
really moving.
Yeah.
And my mom really enjoyed it too, which added like a meta effect of just seeing her happy and enjoying it.
Totally. I think too, that's one, like, I saw it over Christmas and, you're like, wow, that was really nice. Like, that's, gonna find a spot somewhere on the old end of the year list maybe. Then it's like, I don't know, it's only kind of grown in my estimation. Like, yeah.
Well, whatever year it came out, 8th Grade was like my favorite movie of that year.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, like movies about
adolescent
going through puberty, like just hit hard. And this one was just, like in retrospect, and I know it's kind of styled like them, but it feels like one of those sentimental 90s movies, but in the best possible way that, you just remember like, oh, that made me cry so much. What a beautiful movie. It's just kind of simple, but in a really great way,
But Alex, you don't have anything to worry about because you'll go through it when nature says it's time for you to go through it.
It's just, it's been so long.
I know, but just still like, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
if that movie taught us anything, it was like, just like relax.
Yeah.
That's, I'm pretty sure that's what the movie was saying.
That's the main thesis.
Just relax.
Of the film.
Yeah. Young girls of the world, relax.
Chill
Calm down.
Out,
calm
ladies.
down.
Fuck.
Okay? God.
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 And then I also watched with my mom Heat.
Oh. Ha.
A great big ass.
Yeah. She's got a big red ass, and you got your head all the way up it. Yep.
Yeah. We don't need to say anything about Heat. It's
I'm hot. I'm too hot. remember Insomnia? Like, I'm so tired.
so fucking tired.
Oh, it's too hot in here. Hey, somebody turn on the AC.
Robert De Niro turned down the heat.
This crew is good. But it's too hot. They keep it too hot in here.
You know what they got to look of? They got to look at us. Just an entertaining movie.
The best movie ever made. No, I'm just kidding. Michael Mann. Here we go. Okay. Listen, we all like to say, I liked X before it was cool. Not the Twitter, sorry. He ruined the letter. He ruined it. We all like to say, I liked blank before it was cool. Not blank check. I liked blank before it was cool. And I'm not going to say, I liked Michael Mann. Like when you get into movies, you get into Michael Mann. I think it's like a pretty inevitable.
I saw Collateral in theaters.
Yeah. I didn't see Black Hat in theaters, even though I had an opportunity to, and was like, I heard it's bad. And that is a huge shame of mine that I corrected this week. So I didn't really watch too much this week, but I did see Ferrari.
Hey, you go too fast, Ferrari. You're going to hurt someone.
Before we do that,
okay.
How was Heat?
It was
with your mom as well?
It was great. Yeah. We had a good time watching it. It's just like hyper watchable. What a cast. What a 90s all-star cast.
Pacino,
De Niro, Loke.
Yeah, Tone Loke, Kilmer, of course.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Waingro.
Judd,
yes.
Levine,
Judd.
Ted Levine.
Noonan. Yes. Oh fuck. Who? Oh no, there's more. Is Danny Trejo in Heat?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
and
Trejo.
his character's last name is also Trejo.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is one of his earlier ones.
Which really
I think,
irked
right?
me.
Yeah. No, you don't like that?
Come up with a new name.
Wes Studi. Studi is in it as well.
Oh, William Fichtner also.
Fichtner. Everybody. This is huge.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Crazy fucking cast.
Yeah. What did you think about the best part about the movie and also Michael Mann in general?
Yeah.
Is whenever a gun goes off and it's so loud.
It's super loud. Yeah. But you know what?
Boom, 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 boom.
I appreciate that. It's actually something that I remember really enjoying when I saw the Coen Brothers' True Grit in theaters. That the gunshots felt very like theatrical in the sense that they were loud. Like when a gun goes off in theater, like it's fucking loud, it's deafening, and it shuts everyone up. Like if it's with blanks and whatever.
Yeah.
And I think too often in movies, guns and gun violence are like really watered down and just like the impact's kind of lost. But like those rounds in Heat were so fucking loud, and it's like, yeah, these people are causing mayhem on the streets of LA.
Collateral damage. Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
And then finally, I watched a movie that I don't even want to mention it during our end of the year episode until, of course, we get to our number ones, because it inevitably will be both of our number one films.
You really think so?
I watched Saltburn.
Oh, well, maybe we should save our more Saltburn discussion for the end of the year episode, because you're right. Of course, it will be on both of our lists.
Yeah.
Blimey. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What did you think?
I really hated it.
It's bad.
And
I
think I have softer feelings towards Promising Young Woman than you and that guy who was on that pod that one time.
Who was that?
That little twerp who's always bugging you and stuff.
I
forget
don't know.
his name.
Yeah, whatever.
But
starts with a J, I think. Jurassic.
Yeah. Jurassic.
No, his name is Juras. His
Rescue.
name is Juras. And whenever he shows me a nice green space in Toronto, I say Jurassic Park. That's for Jordan. That's for you, Jordan. Get it? His name. See, you have to understand his name is Juras, which isn't a real name, but you see, it's the same with the "Call Me by Your Name" joke, where if you happen to have a friend named Yurnam, and he asked you what your sexuality was, you could say, "Call me by Yurnam." But you see,
Call me by Yurnam.
Call me by Yurnam.
Yeah.
But Yurnam isn't really somebody's name.
Could be.
Could be
like a nice, Kazakh boy.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Well, there we settled it.
Yeah.
Saltburn, yeah.
Yeah, so there were things I liked about Promising Young Woman that I appreciated. I didn't, think altogether it was an amazing film or anything, but I think I was warmer towards it than you guys. But Saltburn, yeah, left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yes. A salty, burning sensation.
I didn't. A lot of it irked me, and I watched it with Katie too, and
yeah. What did Katie think?
She also really didn't like it, which I was very happy about because I didn't want to get into a fight.
It'd be a hard one for a couple to be split on, I think.
On that,
what I mean? Yeah, and I don't know.
You see people liking it and stuff like that, like
sure.
people, and it's just
people with bad taste.
Yeah, I don't get
people
it.
With low standards.
I even see people talk about like at least it looks beautiful, right? I thought it was ugly. It was so yellow and blue and red.
No, it doesn't look beautiful. I don't know.
And then
I mean, there's a couple of shots. But.
The only reason I could think of for it to be in that stupid ratio, it's more boxed in. Is to literally just make it more shareable on Instagram or TikTok, kind of get it ready for vertical social sharing.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of movies that kind of play with that or use that Academy ratio or whatever, the 4:3 or whatever. And it's similar to like contemporary movies that shoot in black and white. Like I think there's very clear, even 15, 20 minutes into the movie, if they're doing it just because they think it's like an interesting aesthetic choice, or if it's like actually like means something to the fabric of the film. You know what I mean?
Like the Snyder cut.
Well, that's a whole other.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
That's
one
a
day.
whole other universe we have to explore. Yeah.
But
Damn.
I didn't like it. I thought everything that was meant to be salacious or shocking was just also
falls really flat,
toothless, and there was no real reason for those beats to be in there. You know what I mean?
No.
Oh, he's really weird. Does that ingratiate him with the no? None of it none of it works really.
No,
when you step back and think about it for 1 second, you're like, no, bullshit. It's lamer than the fucking twist at the end of Usual Suspects, because at least that was an entertaining movie, and you're like, oh, he lied about everything. But in Saltburn, you're just kind of
that's at least kind of funny.
Totally.
No, I mean, and that is one of the funniest things about Saltburn is you're watching the movie and you get to I was entertained. I was kind of enjoying how it seems like every kind of decision or turn that it makes, I'm like, this seems like the wrong way to go. And you're kind of enjoying it, and you're kind of okay, well, where is this going to end up? A movie like this hinges so much on what the final 15 minutes are going to be, and they're so they make the movie dives off a cliff. I couldn't believe it could get that much worse. Where basically, without spoiling it too, I mean, what are we going to spoil? But without spoiling it too much, it hinges on, I guess, what is meant to be a twist, or certainly edited.
It's like a non-twist.
It's certainly it has the rhythms of a twist, where they're sort of well, he was actually conniving the whole time. It's no shit. Not only from the very first minute you see Barry Keoghan's character, you're like, oh yeah, they cast that guy. He's a weird little freak. I bet he's gonna drink somebody's cum. He's a weird little, and then he does, and then he drinks the cummy bathwater, and that's halfway through the movie.
It's 2024. If you haven't engaged in bathwater or menstruation play, you haven't really even lived.
It is not particularly shocking in the way that the movie is seemingly trying to go for. It's kind of rubbing your face in it, isn't it? Aren't I twisted?
Yeah. I'm Emerald Fennel. I'm fucking crazy.
Oh, the rich, and the slightly less rich.
Oh my god, that irked me too. I'm like, what are you even trying to say?
I think that part sort of works, more than anything else in the movie. But the funny thing about this is kind of a CinemaSins complaint, as we tend to do.
Sure.
But that's a long drive, from where they're going. That's a multi-hour drive, and it's only when they get really close he's like, oh no, from the minute you know what I mean? I don't know.
But and then even the whole plot itself, how you're describing, they reveal things at the end, but they have to reveal more specific things because everything else was obvious. Obviously this guy's behind all this. So they're let's reveal even more specific things that he did.
Yeah.
Like the thumbtacks.
Yeah.
And then when they reveal what he's doing in the cafe when he sees Rosamund Pike, it's laughable.
It is actually very funny.
It is funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the way they meant it to be. I don't know.
I don't know, but
there's just something to be said. I like a little twisted, nasty little film, don't I? But
Twisted Pictures.
Exactly. We spent 10 weeks watching nothing but Twisted Pictures. Some of the filthiest British films ever made.
Yeah.
Saw 2, Saw 3. It's cruel and cynical in a way that is not provocative or transgressive or interesting.
It's vapid.
It's completely vapid. Yeah. That really is the final word on it, isn't it? It's just stupid. It's just stupid. Yeah. I don't know. And actually, Jurassic Park, the Lost World Jurassic Park is kind of stupid too. Not in the same way. But we're going to get to that right after I mention. I did watch Ferrari. Have you seen it yet?
No. I don't think I'm going to see it in theaters.
Oh, interesting. But it's a Michael Mann movie. You should see it in the theater. Where it's loud, darling.
Yeah,
I'm Emerald Fennel now. I'm sorry. Me and my friends, we're all nasty people. Some interview. Some interview where she was like, oh fuck, who cares?
I will
whatever.
say this is the first thing. It was the first thing I saw Jacob Elordi in, and he does have like a very
He's not bad.
charming screen presence.
I think he actually gets out of it pretty clean.
and
you know?
he's a beautiful boy.
Oh, he's so tall.
He's
He's so
I see
tall.
why they call him the Australian Alex from the franchise.
You tossed that off so casually. You could have trailed up to like almost like I wouldn't notice. Almost like you were just trying to squeeze
It's
that
just like,
by
just-
me.
Yeah, like let it be. Don't kick the sleeping dog.
I'll take it. Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, just a beautiful man.
Yeah.
And,
You got to see Priscilla now.
Oh yeah, I was going
Here,
to
baby.
eventually.
Yeah.
Don't Freedom After Midnight.
Freedom After Midnight.
But also like even the final sequence in Saltburn. I'm sorry, I can't stop.
It's
like
okay.
it's like clearly, and it's worked. You know, it's gone viral. People reference it all the time. That
Sure.
stupid song is everywhere. The
Sure.
song, by the way, "Murder on the Dance Floor," co-written by the guy from the New Radicals who did "You Get What You Give." Greg
Oh,
Alexander.
interesting. Yeah. The song people think is a U2 song, but it's not.
It's not. Yeah.
Interesting.
Even that like sequence, I saw it referenced online before I saw the movie, and then I watched it and I'm like, this isn't like, shot particularly like interestingly, or it's like not that fun, like maybe it was more fun in theaters. I don't know.
I don't. I saw it in a packed theater, and it was funny. Feeling it being divisive,
Okay, yeah.
like
I
almost
I wish I
literally
had
half the
that.
theater laughing and half the theater just silent.
Yeah.
I was sitting next to like two young women who who would laugh and were kind of into it, but then by the last like 30-40 minutes, you could tell they were kind of like kind of looking at their phones. They're kind of like shuffling a bit, and then when it ended, like not laughing or reacting really at all through the last stretch, and then when it ended, one of them said to the other one like, "Oh, like that was kind of good, wasn't it?" And it's that kind of thing where it's like, and that's like the majority of people where they're just like. They're not like cinema freaks who go to fucking all these fucking dumb movies for no good reason. They're just like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, and I can see it, for the regular cinema going crowd, people being like, oh, okay. Like, don't really think too much about it. It's kind of dumb. Like, whatever.
I can accept people being middle of the road about it. It's the people who like it's big champions that I'm kind of scratching my head at. I'm like,
I don't know. I mean, as a piece of like entertaining trash, I even don't think it really works in that way either.
No,
So,
I didn't think
yeah.
so. Sorry, but you saw
anyway.
Ferrari. Sorry, Ferrari.
Oh, I'm too hot. Al Pacino in Heat.
In Ferrari.
Somebody, please turn the heat down. No, it's not. Now
In
he
this
no,
car.
he doesn't sound like. I'm losing it. How does he? I'm losing it again.
You just gotta get it back.
Hooah, Charlie! I'm blind. Charlie.
big ass.
She's got a great ass, and you got your head all the way up it. Okay, yeah, it's too hot. Who touched the thermostat? All right, now he's just like Bernie Sanders. Okay, so anyway, I saw Ferrari, and fascinating movie. Fascinating movie.
Interesting.
I would very much like to see it again. The thing that I think is great about Ferrari and the idea of like a legions of dads going to go see Ferrari, 'cause, as they did with Ford v Ferrari
Dad
and
core.
other Michael Mann movies and so
Sure.
on, right? They're like, oh, Ferrari, like this will be great, like a great movie about a great man, Enzo Ferrari, who builds great cars, and and I'm sure we'll see all of his greatest achievements,
Yeah.
and then it's like, just people just dying in horrible car crashes.
really?
I mean, there's a lot of things, but let's just say I appreciated seeing a movie called Ferrari with like Ferrari on the cover and about, Enzo Ferrari himself. And it's not about him winning a bunch of races. It's not a cradle to grave biopic. Thank God. It's about a very like strained period of time in his life, where he's trying to like keep his company afloat and like, keep his marriage afloat and his mistress and his kid that he has with her and all this other stuff going on. And and it climaxes not in a moment of triumph, but in a huge moment of like chaos and destruction and death and pain. And I just love the idea of being like a Christmas movie, Michael Mann, Ferrari, like vroom vroom, like let's go. And then it's like,
it's like a tragedy.
Like, cars, what a mistake. yeah. It doesn't, Oh, it's good. It's so. I can see it being a little divisive too. I think like people, especially people like expecting like a Michael Mann movie, like especially like the kind of later period, like his digital experimentation and all the classic Michael Mann protagonist stuff that we know and love. And like Ferrari fits perfectly into that. Not so much visually, but like Enzo Ferrari, as played by Adam Driver, is like Michael Mann protagonist, like numero uno. It might as well, Michael Mann should have played him himself. It would have been more closer to his age, where he's just like, it has to be precise. And if it's precise, it looks more beautiful. And then it's like, some car crashes, some guy goes flying out, and, like dies horribly. And he's like,
Whoopsie. I made a mistake.
No. He's like, it was not my car. It was him. It's like, we have to refine. We have to get a better racer and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'll have more I'll have better things to say when we do our end of the year episode. I kind of want to go see it again. Can
I ask, is it the better Italian Adam Driver film?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
Superior Adam Driver portraying an Italian man.
I think he gives a really good performance in it, actually. I know the accents are kind of bad. Like his accent is not perfect. Shailene Woodley, who plays Lena Lardy, his lover, his mistress or whatever, I guess, or whatever, the woman he cheats on his wife with, her accent is terrible. There are times where she's just not doing it.
Yeah.
There are times where she's just like, Enzo, I love you, and it's like just how I said it. You know what I mean? You're like, okay. Penelope Cruz, on the other hand, right, who's Spanish,
yes,
and not Italian.
True.
And who has like a distinctive voice herself.
Yes.
And it does occasionally sound like she has a Spanish accent.
Wow.
But she is giving, it's a powerhouse performance in this movie.
Cool.
Yeah. They've lost a child, like their like adult son like fell ill and died. He has this other secret son on the side that she doesn't know about, right? And yeah, she is just like, I know the whole Oscars and whatever, it's all really stupid. I cannot believe she is not like a front runner for like a best actress in this. No. She's amazing in the movie. And for a character that could, like a lot of like Michael Mann's women in films where it's like, like the protagonist, he's like, he just wants to get back to his beach house with his woman and its child so they can like play in the sand. But he has to go like kill a bunch of criminals first, or he has to go, arrest the Tooth Fairy killer or whatever it is. This one's different. Like she is like basically like an equal character to him in the film. And I think it could very easily, in the hands of like a lesser actress or maybe a lesser director or whatever, be a role that is like very stock, like this like grieving housewife who like fucking hates you and like is yelling at you all the time, and you'd be like, wow, what a drag, what a one-note character, it's stereotype or whatever. Not with Penelope Cruz in Ferrari.
Nice.
It's like more than anyone in the movie. I was like, oh, okay, I really feel like this is a real person. And then compared to Shailene Woodley, who's like, it's like comically bad. This movie's like interesting. That's why I say it's interesting. It's like, I don't think it's like a knockout hit or anything. It feels very, for those late style fans, it feels late, which sometimes I would say when I mean to say, undercooked maybe in certain aspects, but I don't know, man. I was struggling a bit watching it, being like, is this like marriage stuff really more the focus of the movie, or are we gonna get some racing in? And it's like, no, it's all there. You know, the racing is a relief from Penelope Cruz being like, you know, my boy died. You know, there's a grandma character who's like, the wrong son died. They actually say it like from Walk Hard. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. We'll talk about it later. It's too hot in here. What are we here today to talk about?
That was it? That's the only one you saw?
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I had the weird shift. I had a weird middle shift. I couldn't go see any movies.
Wow.
I know. But I'm going to see All of Us Strangers tonight, and I'm going to see Zone of Interest, I think, on Tuesday.
I did finish, finally, the series of Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Really?
I just wanted to say...
Did you watch the movie yet?
Not yet. I haven't watched the end of Evangelion.
Can I watch it with you? Please?
Like, I want to say yes, but we
just
have
watch
to
it.
find the time.
Just
and
watch
it.
Just watch it. Just watch it.
But I just wanted to say that I understood everything.
Great.
I completely...
Yeah, of course,
I have a comprehensive grasp on the lore.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I like they cut to the penguin.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was really good.
Oh boy, you're in for a treat. I was just because I was just thinking like I was listening to, as I tend to do, you know, the Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me soundtrack today.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like, what a great movie. It's like, this has got to be one of the best movies ever made. Mm-hmm. And what a shame it is to, you know, I've talked about this before, but recommending it to people and they're like, oh, well, I got to watch all this first. Yeah. There's all this baggage. And it's like, fine, whatever. And same with End of Evangelion, which is really the Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me of the Evangelion films.
There are two other like Evangelion movies too.
Yeah, you don't really have to worry about that.
You don't have to worry about those?
I mean, you could.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen Death and Rebirth.
Like Rebirth.
Yeah. But End of Evangelion, like, it's really good. Cool. And I know there are people who haven't seen the show and just love that movie.
Interesting.
You would not understand it at all.
Yeah.
But even just as an experience on its own, I think it's one of the best animated things ever made.
Yeah, right on.
One of the great movies. Really.
I will get to it.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed the series.
Excellent.
And one last thing I want to say before we dive into the Lost Clonosaur, Billy and the Clonosaurus 2.
Oh yeah.
You go see a lot of movies in theaters.
Sure.
Have you noticed the propaganda ads for Metrolinx?
Yes, they're terrible.
Yeah, so
have I not brought those up before? Maybe not.
I don't think we have.
They're terrible.
And I just made I'm going to make a Crunchy Boy about them.
Yes.
I have a Instagram doodle account called CrunchyBoy16 for anyone who's interested in following.
Boy with an I, right?
No, I think it's just Crunchy
never
Boy.
mind. Don't listen to me.
Y16.
Yeah.
So for those who are not in Toronto, for over a decade, there's this major street kind of in further north in Toronto called Eglinton, and it's been an absolute disaster for over a decade as they've been building a light rail system.
Yeah.
They've completely fucked the street up. Traffic is like terrible. We actually just recently were announced as like the worst traffic in North America or something like that.
Yeah, I think third worst in the world it was maybe.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And
I saw that today. It was like something like the average commuter, whatever, suckers, spends like cumulatively over a year like 4 or 5 days.
It's
or not.
rough.
Or was it? Maybe it was 9 days.
It's depressing.
Something really twisted. Yeah.
And it's rough. And I was seeing movies in theaters, and they've been running these ads. The company that's making the LRT, called Metrolinx.
So bad.
And they're basically, the ads are like, one character complains like, oh, all this like noise pollution really stinks or something, or like, oh, the traffic caused by the construction is so annoying. And then someone's like, yeah, but then this thing is going to be able to get you to like all the places but they say kind of like passive, but like
they're super
gaslighty.
Yeah, like gaslighty, absolutely, and like, passive aggressive.
It sucks that we're going to be able to get to like your mom's house and the movies and karates and hockey really conveniently.
That's the one with the teens.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it sucks that it's going to like cut down on carbon emissions and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like, What a shitty fucking tone to take,
It's disastrous. I can't there. So when I saw it the first time, I kind of, and they ended, I kind of looked around and was like, did everybody just watch that?
Yeah.
Now that I've been too many movies, I've seen it too many times, and now I can audibly hear people being like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody, I can't imagine anybody watching that and being like, you know what? They raise a good point.
Yeah.
Because even if
I will shut up.
I will. Yeah. I won't complain. Yeah. Because even if there's whatever, some truth to that, like, it's just, that's the wrong way of going about it.
Terrible tone.
Terrible.
Whoever was in charge of that, if it was a PR company or
Come on
an
the
ad
pod.
agency, come on the pod and we will flog you to death.
Yes.
So I just want to say a big fuck you to Metrolinx, a big fuck you to whoever's responsible for those.
Yes.
Like, at least
Terrible.
be like, hey, like, we're sorry it's taking so long, but here's some
You should
positives.
be groveling.
Yeah,
They should be groveling.
Yes, honestly, it's taken over 10 years. Like, there were some funny like stats online of the things that got built within that time. Some amazing architectural feats and wonders in the world. And we're still waiting for a fucking LRT on Eglinton. It's pathetic, and the tone that they've adopted is just criminal and gross.
Yeah, it's a disastrous campaign, I think. Like, I can't imagine they've won themselves any favors in the minds of the populace.
Yeah, like, who's watching that? People yeah, okay. Yeah.
And it's just funny that it's like I don't know, maybe those ads are on TV as well. But the fact that they're at the movie theater, and I imagine like Cineplex probably charges a pretty penny for their ads, right? So it's like, and you have to watch them. You could be on your phone, but they're there. Like, it's part of the pre-roll. And it just seems like the wrong audience too.
Totally.
I don't know. Terrible.
I hate them.
Yeah.
Make sure you recommend the pod to your lonely film friends.
Yes, please. Follow us at The Franchisees on Twitter.
Share.
Yeah, tell everybody. Yeah. Tell as many people as you can.
Scream it from the rooftops. Yeah. I'm mad as hell about Metrolinx, and I listen to the franchisees.
I listen to the franchisees. And I have a little dick, and I have a gun.
And I'm going to blow my little dick right off.
I'm going to shoot my little dick right off if you don't cancel this light rail right now.
It actually kind of fits into the barrel of the gun because it's so tiny and thin.
I'm going to fuck my gun with my dick.
And then blow it off.
Is anyone still listening?
Listen to the franchisees.
Oh, it's too hot in here. Oh, it's way too hot in here.
I got to blow my little dick off.
Yeah. Because she's got a little dick. And you got your mouth all the way around it. I don't know. That works.
Yeah, no,
that works. Yeah. He's a chaser now.
The Lost World.
Okay. The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
It's too hot. I can't move on. Okay. The Lost World, Jurassic Park. 1997. Good start. Great start. Excellent. Well done, Ben.
Yeah, 4 years after the incident at
1997.
Isla Nublar.
Yes, and Isla Nublar, Isla Sorna, all these new islands. What people have to remember is that Epstein owned more than one island.
Isla St. James.
Isla St. James, Isla Nublar, and Isla Sorna were all owned by Epstein. Yeah. Nublar and Sorna aren't in the news because people still associate them with dinosaurs.
Yeah,
and not pedophiles.
It was actually kind of smart of Epstein to put his two other compounds on those islands.
With the island with the dinosaurs.
The dinosaur islands. Yeah, people forget about the pedophilia.
Exactly. They're too focused on the dinosaurs. In a sense, this was John Hammond's plan all along. This is surely the dinosaurs are a front. Well,
yeah.
Okay. As we talked about before, 93, Jurassic Park, Spielberg makes Schindler's List. He finally wins his Best Director, Best Picture, Oscar duo. He's finally this serious director.
He's riding high.
Yeah. Takes a bit of time off. A couple years later, he's like, I'm going to do it again, baby.
Yeah.
Lost World, Jurassic Park, and Amistad. Mm-hmm. And this movie, I was really excited to revisit it because it had been a long time since I'd seen it.
Same.
Maybe I should get this right off my chest, maybe I should
get this bat off your chest.
Get this bat off my chest. That's the saying.
Yeah.
And just tell you, I think this is a very flawed movie.
Yeah.
I don't like hate it.
Yeah.
I had some fun.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
And I think
agree.
it's one of Spielberg's kind of bad movies. Now, when you stack it up to movies that are like, oh, I really don't ever want to watch that again, like The Post or like even like Ready Player One, I'm sure that both of those movies have defenders. But like some of the more modern, like kind of clunky Spielberg stuff,
Sure, yeah.
like, okay, I don't know. Would I rather watch this than that? Probably.
Yeah.
But there's just something about it where it feels like it's just like a really dumb, like bad sequel.
Okay, yeah. So what I was thinking while I was watching it was this has a bad case of sequelitis.
It does have a bad case of sequelitis.
But also, I want to make, a safe space for you. Like, it's okay to say, it's a bad Spielberg movie.
It is okay. You're right.
And again, like that little twerp who, occasionally harasses us
Sammy Fabelman?
on the show. No,
You're talking about Sammy Fabelman.
that guy who's in that band who's always harping on about Hong Kong action films. I forget his
Bono.
name. Yeah, Bono.
Yeah, you're talking about Bono.
He might say, like at the very least, you're still watching a movie made by Steven Spielberg.
Oh, like the auteur theory thing, like the worst movie from a auteur is better than the best movie from a journeyman or whatever. Yeah,
but I'm just here to say,
I don't know if Jordan would say that. Maybe not.
It's okay. I think he said it about
He may have.
the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, and I do agree with him to some extent. I like there's some really good stuff in this movie,
But
it's just like sorry, continue.
no, yeah, I just want to say it's safe. It's okay to say it's kind of bad.
It's kind of bad,
Yeah.
and this makes this. I was trying to think of a way to say this that doesn't sound stupid, but I know it's not possible. At least not for me. It's not possible. That like yes, the first movie is silly. It's a movie about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Sure.
Yeah. And yes, suspension of disbelief, blah blah blah. Like you buy into it. Why then do you not buy into this? I think the whole idea in the first place is just ill-conceived. Like the whole plot for the sequel, it's just a bad idea. Like I don't think it's a bad idea to make a sequel to Jurassic Park. You could make a sequel.
Yeah.
I just think this is like a really stupid idea for it, and every other thing that I think is kind of not the right choice kind of flows down from there. Like the book, and I at least read half of it when like in between like after I'd read the original Jurassic Park.
Gold star for you.
It's bad. It's bad. And it feels like Michael Crichton didn't want to write it. It's like it's a junky airplane paperback novel. Like I know like his books are, but this one in particular, like
Yeah.
it feels really like half baked.
It's like Spielberg and his cronies were too busy thinking of what they could do and not if they should do it.
It is almost like that.
Yeah, my big thing with it is, and listen, I agree. There are parts that I think are really fun. That I think there are parts that look really good.
Yes.
But there are also long stretches in between those parts that I find kind of boring, or there's some sequences that I just don't have the impact of the first one,
No.
Like I'm thinking
There's
of
no impact.
the T-Rex attacking the car with the kids in the first one.
Yeah.
And then this one, the analogous kind of scene is two T-Rexes rescuing the baby T-Rex from their kind of like mobile lab
I mean, that
unit.
sequence is pretty. That's like that's probably the best sequence of the movie.
I didn't find it that like affecting really.
Yeah.
Like I was just kind of watching it and it was just happening over me, but like I didn't
I know
feel
what
like
you
the
mean.
tension of the.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
And it's
There's a
not-
lot of CGI too.
There's way more CGI.
There's way more CGI, and it's not seamless.
No.
Like I'm not saying the first one is, especially in whatever 4K or whatever, you can see the age of the effects.
Yes.
But they're used very sparingly.
Yeah.
And the practical dinosaurs in Lost World are great. They're really good.
It's still
But-
some of the best looking dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like in
but
film.
then there's big scenes full of CGI dinosaurs where
Yeah.
it's like it just kind of it's just not. It just looks like crap.
and a symptom of sequelitis
Yeah.
is like, more isn't necessarily always better, right?
Right.
And so you get two T-Rexes, you get like a shit ton of raptors.
Yeah, there's a
like,
bunch more people The body count is way higher.
Huge.
Yeah.
Super huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's not always necessarily a good thing. But like you said, it's still a great vehicle for showing off some cool dino effects and having some dino action.
Yeah, there's still some great scenes in it and some memorable characters.
Oh my God, Roland Tembo.
Okay, well, yeah, let's talk about the cast.
Yeah.
Okay, so they bring Goldblum back, right?
Yes.
And I guess also like he is back in the book, even though in the original Jurassic Park, they leave him on the island.
Do they?
And they nuke the island. I'm pretty sure that's what happens. It's like they
awesome.
can't transport him, and so he's just assumed to be dead.
Yeah.
But then he's back in the Lost World. And yeah, so he's back, and John Hammond and the kids make a little cameo at the beginning, right?
Yes, they do.
John Hammond is back for a little scene, and he's basically like, this is where the whole thing,
it's like
even just at the beginning,
Shakespearean.
the whole thing just falls apart.
His evil nephew.
Why would he? Yeah. Why? Okay. There is the character Ian Malcolm in the movie. If we're just taking Jurassic Park and that characterization of him only, not anything to do with the books, there's no way he would ever go back to the island. And I was trying to remember, why does he get to go? Why does he agree to go back? Oh, it's for his girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
President Coin.
Julianne Moore. There's no way his girlfriend would go back. There's no way his girlfriend would go there. Like, I know she's a paleontologist, but she's his girlfriend. He would have been like, I was traumatized. I was nearly killed 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I thought it was like his ex or something like that. No, they're like currently seeing
Your
each
current
other.
girl. And yeah, he's like, what? She's there already? It's like, how did you not communicate this with your girlfriend? She never mentioned like,
Well,
I'm going.
I just don't believe that. I don't believe that after the events of the first movie, which are treated relatively seriously, that it would just be like, oh, we're going back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that's kind of the first big kind of like story flaw, if you will. It's like, obviously they have to get back to the island or whatever, or they bring a dinosaur to here. They get to do both in this movie.
They have their cake and they eat it too.
Yeah, but I did not buy it at all. I didn't I don't know. Yeah. But Julianne Moore, she's already there, and so he ships out with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, you get two sardonic kind of wisecrackers.
Yeah, and Richard Schiff from The West Wing, who plays the guy who gets ripped apart by two T-Rexes.
One of the earliest deaths.
Well, and that, so one of the kind of more pleasurable things about watching these movies again is when his character comes in, like, and they're like, this is Eddie Carr, he's like the equipment specialist, and I'm like, no, he's fucked. Or they're like, this is John Hammond's evil nephew, and I'm like, oh, I know what happens to him. You know what I mean? You're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Do you know the actor who plays his nephew, his evil nephew,
Arliss Howard?
Do you know who he is?
No.
Do you know if he's American or British?
I want to say American. Arliss sounds like a strong American name.
Yeah, he's an American actor.
Yeah.
That they hired to be a smarmy British prick.
Yes.
So I don't really understand why, but he plays cowboy in Full Metal Jacket. He's that guy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I can hack it, and then he dies.
Yeah,
dude. Sucker.
I love Full Metal Jacket.
We'll get there when we get to we'll do Full Metal Jacket. We'll do
Vietnam
Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Either the Full Metal franchise or the
Full Monty
Vietnam franchise or the full franchise.
The Vietnam franchise. That'd be great. 60 films. Yeah.
All with the exact same soundtrack.
It ain't me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just a weird kind of casting choice, I guess.
For sure.
Like that he's playing the smarmy British guy. I don't think he's bad.
No.
Like, it's a dumb character though, right?
It's not a substantial role.
No, it's just another stupid thing where it's like, okay, he's John Hammond's whatever nephew or something, right? And he's gonna make all the same mistakes John Hammond did, and like, okay, I buy it. Like, he's the CEO of InGen now or whatever, and he's an idiot. It's just like, it's still hard to buy it. it's still hard to buy it that they're like John Hammond's going to send in a team of like scientists and researchers like without any like arms really or protection, and then InGen is going to send their whole the scene, speaking of Vietnam War scenes, the scene where they come in and they're just like committing animal atrocities. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they've got crazy vehicles.
They just roll in, and they should have played like you know, boom, 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 you know, like just slaughtering defenseless animals. You know?
Yeah, they've got the like long dog catching things that they use on the dinosaur with the hard head.
Oh, please, the Pachycephalosaurus.
Pachycephalosaurus.
Thank you. Jeff Goldblum has a kid in this.
Yep, he certainly does. And she's a stowaway. Somehow they don't catch her.
Really, also just like stupid. You know, I don't know. Played by Vanessa Lee Chester, who's in some other movies before this, but not maybe still in like TV or something, but not a huge career.
Shout outs VLC
player. Shout out. I feel kind of bad for her because like she's not bad in the movie, but like it's a bad character.
Yeah.
It's like a nothing character. And it also, you know, maybe shouldn't have been in the movie. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, there's like two kinds of child actor roles. You know, there's the ones that lead to a springboard of a long and illustrious career, and then the ones that kind of like, you know,
fizzle out.
You dive into an empty pool.
Yeah. You do gymnastics into an empty
you do
raptor pit or something.
Through a 360, whatever.
That scene's still really funny, you know? Like where she's flipping around and like kicking.
Right, yeah.
That's one of the better practical dinosaur shots when she kicks the raptor and it gets smashed out the window. Like she really kicks him.
She must have had some force.
Yeah. And then they cut to a practical raptor and it's been impaled and it's like, I like that part. Yeah. That's maybe my favorite part that's my favorite single shot of the movie. She killed him. All right. How does the movie open? It opens with an iconic scene. One of the better scenes in the movie, I think, that also very much immediately establishes its kind of like cheeky, mean-spirited tone in comparison to the first one, right?
Yeah, it might honestly be like my favorite part of the movie is just when this, again, you know, wealthy yacht-faring family kind of pull up on...
Exceedingly British.
Yeah, pull up on Isla Sorna. Where are the massage girls?
Yeah. And Jeffrey's late again, I say. It's unlike him to be so late.
But the little girl like goes away from the luncheon and encounters the
compies.
Sorai.
Yeah.
And is presumably she's mentioned that she survives, but she's horribly bitten.
Well, I like that that line they give John Hammond where he tosses it off is very much. It's like a lot closer to how he is in that book, in the original book, where he's like a bad guy.
Yeah.
And in that one, he's like, "Oh, she survived. Like we settled it out of court. Like he's just like, it's fine, you know."
And there's a great match cut where the mom starts screaming, and it cuts to Jeff Goldblum yawning on the New York subway, and the scream is the subway going by
with
or something.
Tropical like ad in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is so silly.
Yeah.
What a silly guy Spielberg was at this time, eh?
Playful.
Yeah. That's really silly. You know?
Yeah.
Just think about the tone of the first one and like the awe and the wonder of like every single moment, like, you know, and how carefully it like unfolds. And maybe not so much at the end, but especially the setup of like the dinosaurs and you know, each time you see a new dinosaur, like what a big deal it is. And then in this movie, it's just like, nah, they're all over the place.
It's a good point, yeah. Cause
it's just kind of like, whatever.
Not to fast forward a bit, but when you do get to the island, there's a Stegosaurus herd, you know, and that's the first kind of moment where you're meant to be like, ooh, wow. That's when he says the line where he's like, oh, yeah, it starts with the oohs and ahs, and then there's screaming and whatever.
Yeah, which is a good line.
It is a good line.
It feels like a very Ian Malcolm line.
Totally. You know? But yeah, there's just like a lot more stegosaurs, and
I mean that I was wondering too how, you know, because I know whatever the book there's adaptation there, but how are they deciding like which dinosaurs to throw in? Like Stegosaurus must have been a big like favorite, right?
Yeah,
it's probably his kid being like, Steven. They all call him. All his kids call him Steven. Sammy.
I like the one with the spiky tail.
My dad, when he would read us like dinosaur books, dinosaur stories, he would call that the Toastosaurus.
Toastosaurus?
Because the spikes in the back like pop up like toast.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, something like that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like
a family memory for you.
There's a lot of them, and they're all CGI, and then it kind of leads to a sequence where like Julianne Moore has to like duck from their spiky tails and stuff. It looks
really weightless. It looks like and it looks like it has the feeling of like people on a green screen rather than like something that's a little bit more carefully constructed, I guess.
Totally. And it's really missing that, like, you know, the John Williams score swell punch in the first one where you see all the brontosauruses and shit, and it's like, you know, and he moves Laura Dern's head. Instead it's Julianne Moore like ducking and dodging.
She's weird in this movie too, because it's like it's like a nothing character. Like what's her like thing?
Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Sound effects.
Yeah. Everybody's got to have a thing. John Hammond is such a fucking idiot. He's so stupid. Like in the first movie, it's just like another thing. Like in the first movie, like you believe his hubris, and you believe like that he genuinely thinks he's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Which is the characterization they chose for the movie, not in the books. Like they, that was their design. In this movie, he's like a dumbass.
Yeah.
He's in his little jammies, not because he's sick, but because he's sleepy. He's just a sleepy guy. And the way that he's like describing it to Jeff Goldblum, it's like, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
It's a terrible idea. Like how could he, that it's not even that they have to go there to rescue whatever. They have to go to there to observe the dinosaurs and like show them that they're fine in their natural habitat to then come back to the States and say everything's fine. Like, you know,
it's also like pretty dangerous and crazy that he didn't tell them that InGen was sending like a hunting party.
Did he not know?
Maybe he didn't know.
Maybe it was his cheeky little nephew.
I guess.
Little British prick. You watched The Killer, right?
You're probably right. I did watch The Killer. Yeah.
Arliss Howard is the CEO at the end of The Killer.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
That was a funny little bit. Where
he's
like
great at it too.
CEO,
Sub Pop T-shirt and everything.
Yeah.
So fucking funny. Okay. When he's just like, oh, the little girl's fine. She'll get over it. Yeah, I'm sure she will.
I'd have loved to see like a newspaper clipping of what she looked like in the hospital.
Little girl fine.
Because do you remember the woman who went on Oprah who was like attacked by a chimp or something, or like a baboon, and it completely...
do I remember that? Of course. I've seen that clip dozens of times. I watch it every morning when I wake up, and every bed before I go to sleep. Every night before I sleep in my bed.
It'd been great to just see like a newspaper clipping of like a horrifically mauled little girl.
Okay, so obviously we've talked about how much we love Nope on this, right?
Yes.
And like Nope explicitly references that, right? That
yes.
with the character in the film, but also the whole idea of the Oprah shot, right? I think there's a clear sort of connection there.
Right.
And so, of course, that, made me think about that again. I watched that clip again, and just to see how like sensationalized it is.
Was
and how
it extremely?
But I remember watching, because my mom used to watch Oprah a lot.
Same.
It was what was on TV.
They were moms.
It's for moms, and whatever. I think there's some very bad, irresponsible things that show did a lot of the time. And one of them may have been turning this into a spectacle, because I remember watching it as a kid and being so intrigued and so disturbed by it. Not seeing her face that was, ripped apart by a chimpanzee, but the way that it was set up, where it's like she has the veil, like in Nope, right?
Right.
And it's like a when we return from the break,
we'll reveal.
We'll show you this hideous face. It's
that's
like
fucked up.
Fuck off,
Yeah.
And they build up to it, and then have her come off, and then you hear in the audience like, and all this thing, and it's just like, it's like turning people's like suffering and misery and misfortune into spectacle. Like,
Truly.
you know, that's for Steven Spielberg to do, not
Under the guise of compassion.
In the fake world of a movie, not the real world.
But speaking about the real world too, I wanted to ask you, have you heard the like recreated sound of what a T-Rex probably-ish actually sounded like?
No.
Oh, it's pretty like horrifying.
Cue it up on the on your phone. Play it into the microphone.
So like a group of researchers from wherever.
Yeah. Sure. Good.
Because like they kind of combined like some bird noises with like some alligator noises or something. Because like the closest like living relatives to a T-Rex or something.
Yeah, I still don't buy it, but okay.
And the whole thing was they lacked like parts of their throat to do like the kind of high pitched like roaring that you see in Jurassic Park.
Right.
And what they think it really sounded like was like deep guttural kind of bellows.
That picture is really sure. It's Leatherface. That's for sure a chainsaw. Cool, man.
Yeah,
dude, I'd way rather see that.
It's kind of spooky, right? If like in these nighttime scenes in Jurassic Park, all of a sudden you just hear, roar, roar, roar. It almost sounds like a laugh.
Bird noises are terrifying.
They truly are.
Like what's that? The shoe bill, you know, shoe bill like stork with it's like clacks it, clack, 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 clack. You know those ones.
No,
that's a lot. It's super loud.
Interesting.
Yeah. Birds are crazy, man.
They're fun.
But they're not dinosaurs. I was reading the Wikipedia page last night.
Of birds?
Yeah, not dinosaurs. Don't worry. Don't read it. Don't check. They don't belong to the dinosauri clade or whatever. Don't check.
Don't give me that hollow bone crap.
Don't check. Yeah, don't check. Yeah.
Hollow lies.
Yeah, that's right. You tell them. So, yeah, like I remember the toys for this movie because like Jurassic Park had toys, but like this one feels like it's maybe more especially built for that. You know, you could have the camper van, like the research van, and the baby T-Rex.
Right.
When they're when the InGen team comes in and they're like, "All right, let's go commit atrocities."
Yeah.
You know,
they have crazy vehicles.
They have the gunner seat that pops out. That was for sure a toy too. You know,
I don't think I had many of those.
No, I don't think I had them, but they were there.
I would have loved a copy of Pete Postlewaite's Big Game Hunter Dino Edition.
Yeah, that would have been sweet. Okay, so he's really good in this movie.
He's possibly my favorite part of the movie.
Definitely.
If you're a Pete Postlewaite head like I am, you know, this is a great little role where he plays Big Game Hunter Roland Tembo.
Cool, man.
Who's like brought on to capture some of these species live, and they almost kind of like they set up his character like for the potential of like sequels or something because he doesn't die or anything.
No, like everybody else dies.
his partner dies, who he goes with, like Ajay.
Yeah, Ajay. Yeah, Ajay. Who you know, in doing some slight research, may be a white guy in brown face. Yeah, I know it's let's not dwell on it too much. It was 1997.
Yeah,
it's really not that long ago. You know what I mean?
But yeah, then at the end they offer him. They're like, come with it. Like there's money in this for you, like the dweeby nephew or whatever.
Yes. We've got a job for you as like the head gameskeeper at our park or whatever.
Yeah,
some shit.
And he said no, the San Diego Zoo.
Oh yes, right? Yeah, cool. Yeah, really cool.
But doesn't he has like a kind of a badass line where he says something like, I've spent enough company with the shadow of death or something like that.
And then he walks off.
Walks away.
Into the sunset. Yeah.
Yeah.
His introduction is great too, because they're in the cars and you know, the prick nephew guy is like I want to set up base camp here, you know, Daddy. Where's my gobstopper?
But I want a base camp now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Arliss.
Very good. Yes, Arliss. And then the sheet, you know, the kind of like whatever army camo webbing, he like pulls it aside like it's like, you know, like a shower curtain or something. And he's like, we can't, you know, and this is our introduction to Pete Postlewaite, and he's like, you can't set a base camp here, like it's a game trail, like we're like carnivores will be hunting on you, idiot, blah, blah, blah. And he goes on this whole long spiel, and he sets up, his motivation, his raison d'etre is, I want to kill a T-Rex.
Yeah.
I don't need your money. I want the chance to hunt a male T-Rex, a buck, and I want to kill it. And then he says the line, which I was the line that I laughed at the hardest in this movie, where he says, fuck, I'm not going to look it up. He just says something along the lines of like, after he says, all I want to do is kill the T-Rex, he says, why and how, that's my business. It's like,
Yeah.
He makes it sound sus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
Listen, I'm not for big game hunting or anything like that, but he rocks. Like the character of Roland Tembo.
I want the chance to kill. I can't do his voice. How does he sound like?
Just an amazing deep voice. Like he's such a good character
and
actor.
He's British. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he was great. Remember him in The Town?
How and why are my business. I want to crawl up its asshole and live in there for the rest of my days. I remember him in The Town, yeah.
As the guy who ran the flower shop, who's also a gangster.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, get the fuck out of the town. This is my town.
Charleston, Boston.
Oh, right, they're Boston. That's right.
Yeah, but that's fine.
I'm putting this whole fucking town on my rear view. That's the best line. The other line is, get that through your fucking head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do the Town franchise.
We are going to do The Town for sure. Yeah, The Town. Motherless Brooklyn.
Halloween Town.
Halloween Town. Sure. That's a whole series too. Yeah, he's great in the Name of the Father. He's
James
great
and the Giant Peach.
James and the Giant Peach. Yeah. He's in Dragonheart, right? No.
Oh, I haven't seen.
Maybe.
Oh, we should
We're gonna do
Dragonheart. Like
one like theatrical movie, and then like whatever 6 like direct to DVD.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
You know what I also thought of the other day was In the Name of the King, a Dragon Siege tale.
Oh boy.
They made several of those.
Yeah. Those are gonna be rough.
Fun to talk about Uwe Boll.
Yeah. So some of the set pieces, like I like seeing, especially when you're watching the movie before, right? I like to see how they get set up piece by piece, and there's only really one that feels like that true kind of Spielbergian, like Rube Goldberg-y kind of ratcheting tension thing, and that is like the main like camper van like chase, or not chase, like 2 T-Rex cliff thing. 2
T-Rex, one lab.
One lab, yeah. Anyway, well, I mean, Eddie he's the first person eaten to completion in Lost World Jurassic Park, because of course the little girl gets eaten but not to completion. Yeah.
Is the guy, what's his name? The equipment guy.
Eddie Carr.
Eddie Carr.
Yeah. His last name is Carr, but you see, because he's the technical expert and he drives the truck.
Right, because Vince Vaughn's character's name is Joey Photography.
Joey Snaps. yeah. But he's also the Greenpeace guy too, right? He's also like the eco-terrorist, which never really goes anywhere either. No. Yeah. What the fuck? He doesn't really do anything either in the movie.
Not really, no.
No.
Yeah.
Not really.
Especially when they reach the mainland.
Mm.
He's kind of gone by
now. He's not in it. Yeah. He's straight up not in it, is he? I don't remember. That last little bit feels very tacked on.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I know. He should have just made the whole movie that. Like a dinosaur in San Diego. They still haven't
the name
really.
Of the movie.
Yeah, that would have been cool. They still haven't really done that with these movies, right? Like
not quite.
We'll
get to Jurassic World 2.
Yeah, it's so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So I like that sequence. I like, I remember as a kid being very disturbed by the way that Eddie is killed. Like he does such a good job. He saves their lives, and then he's just tossed in the air and ripped apart by 2 T-Rexes, just feels very, very cruel, He didn't do anything to deserve that.
But a really sweet moment between the mother and father T-Rex, like a real reconnecting moment.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The relationship was kind of a bit on the rocks. Till they tore.
It's funny
Eddie
the
apart.
things that bring you together again. Eating Richard Schiff. I know that saved my marriage once or twice. sitting down to a warm home cooked meal of Richard Schiff. he's like all tied up like a turkey. anyway, you West Wing guy? I've never watched the West Wing. Do you ever watch the West Wing? He's one of the main guys in the West Wing. No,
not for me. Really,
good for you.
Yeah,
me neither.
thank you.
No. It seems terrible. I'm sure. I know a lot of people like it. I'm sure it's great. Okay, what else? So then basically, the two teams have to come together. Nobody on the bad guy's side has died yet. They've just captured a bunch of dinosaurs. Meanwhile, the other team is basically fucked. Like all their equipment's gone and stuff. And Richard Schiff has been ripped into pieces. So they team up, and then, here's when like the fun begins, like, oh, we forgot there's fucking Dieter,
Peter Stormare.
Peter Stormare, yeah.
Yeah, and it was great watching the scene, because I remember the scene where a character is eaten by those little guys.
Yeah.
I distinctly remembered the shot of one of them like pulling on his
biting
lip.
his lip. Yeah.
But as an adult, it's fun to watch and be like, oh, it's Peter Stormare.
Yeah,
who gets
man.
ripped apart by
Yeah.
them.
This is like right after Fargo, too.
A perfect film.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, he's good in the movie. Like, I mean, it's not much of a role, right? But I loved that. I love the scene where he gets eaten by because the CGI in that scene isn't that bad. Like when they're all hopping around, but there's so much practical stuff on it and that looks really funny too. Like I don't think it looks bad. It's just they're just a little bit more wooden when they're like on him, But yeah, I remember. It's funny that Spielberg does the the sort of classic horror, like blood under the door, thing.
Yeah.
Twice, right? With when he gets eaten and there's a blood in the river.
Yes.
And then later on, probably the silliest death in these movies so far. They have the InGen team has a paleontologist with them, and he's based on like this famous paleontologist. I think it's like his name is Robert Baker or Robert Backer or something. But he's got the big beard and the cowboy hat and everything, and it's like visually based on him, right? And he's somewhat helpful. He doesn't seem like as evil or mercenary as some of the other guys on the team. Like he seems like he's genuinely interested in the dinosaurs, but he's wrong about all these theories. Where Julianne Moore is correct.
Right.
He's wrong about the T-Rex abandoning their child. Like they will go and hunt after it. Anyway, his comeuppance, like he I think they make it through we'll talk about the raptor maze or whatever thing, but they go behind a waterfall and the T-Rex head goes in and they're all just far away enough that they're fine.
He's like, he can't reach.
He can't reach.
Yeah.
But then this is so goofy. This is like Temple of Doom goofy.
Yeah.
A snake, and it's like not a venomous snake either. I know it's a small like.
It's one of those like coral snakes that's like red, black, and white, and then there's like a rhyme. It's like if red touches black, like you're under attack.
Right.
But if like red is red on white, you're all right, or something.
Either way, like you just stay flush against the wall
and take the snake.
But
off
anyway,
of
the
you.
snake goes down his shirt, and he's like, "Oh, a snake!" And he goes, "Oh!" Like into the mouth of the Tyrannosaur, and then he gets lifted up out of the waterfall, and then immediately, like nonsensically, the waterfall is blood. I watched.
There's a few moments like that.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know exactly what the first movie to do, like somebody gets eaten or killed and the blood comes out of the door. I don't know what it is, but I did watch in 2023 the great Jacques Tourneur horror film, The Leopard Man, and that scene. There's a scene at the beginning, where the leopard man or the leopard or whoever is doing the killing in the film, kills this young woman, and like this other person's on the other side of the door, and the blood comes under the door. And this is from the 30s, so it must be one of the earlier ones. But so that's a classic little thing, even if it's just kind of dumb, like I don't know, whatever.
They call me the leopard man because I have a spotted penis.
Oh, interesting. All right, whip it out. Let's see it. Oh, whoa. Alex, those spots I don't think are supposed to be there.
I'm horribly diseased.
Yeah, you need to get that chopped
I'm
off.
riddled with disease.
Yeah, like
Is it the tall grass raptor sequence? I always thought that was like pretty cool.
it's cool.
It's kind of over pretty quickly.
It's very brief. And you know what's funny too? Well, I'm talking about the Ajay character. There, I didn't watch them, but I know because I've seen these before. There are a bunch of deleted scenes with him. There's a deleted scene where he like meets Roland Tembo like in a bar like before they go to the island.
Oh, interesting.
There's like another couple of scenes, and if I am correct that it is a white guy in brown face, which I'm pretty sure it is, I just could anyway. Whatever. Maybe one could read into that they cut out most of his scenes and almost all of his dialogue because Spielberg was like, maybe this comes off as racist.
Right.
But the only dialogue he has is "Don't go into the tall grass."
Right.
And then he gets killed off screen. I guess you don't even see him get killed.
I don't recall.
I feel like they
that.
cut around him a lot.
Yeah,
you know?
because then Pete Postlethwaite has a moment right before he says that
My
badass
friend
line.
died.
You know, he's like, yeah, Ajay didn't make it or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and I wasn't allowed to go into the Tyrannosaur's ass.
And pretend to be a little baby tyrannosaur.
Birth me.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Do they have a cloaca? Is this how dinosaurs work, or do they have an ass? This is another episode of Ass or Cloaca. Plop.
How would you describe a cloaca to a layman like me?
Well, see, I don't know, but from what I understand, birds have a cloaca, and
Versus an asshole.
that is an all-purpose hole for ins and outs and eggs and all sorts of things.
So that's what I've been fucking.
Yeah. Boing, beep, 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 bong, 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 bong. Caw, caw. And that's been the first and last episode of Ass or Cloaca.
Those poor dead birds.
Yeah. Plop. That's awful. Well, what else happens?
Oh, a T-Rex in San Diego.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
A Connecticut T-Rex in...
Yeah. Okay, wait. The raptors in the tall grass, pretty good idea.
Sure.
And even if it really is just that one shot of all the people running and then the raptors like closing in, like doing
Yes.
their little thing. Great shot.
Good shot.
Great shot. And then you have whatever, like I like seeing the stragglers at the back. They get picked off and that seems practical for the most part, where they go down and then the raptor tail goes up and it goes boo, like wiggling around.
And they used real practical tall grass.
Yeah, it's real grass. Yeah. Nowadays it'd all be CG.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems good. And, a lot of nameless people, mercenaries get killed.
Get eaten. They reach like a center, like the end of Jurassic Park 1.
Yes, that's right.
And then somehow they get a T-Rex on a boat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. That is so funny. Okay, wait. So the whole movie hinges on the idea that there's a second island. Similar
Yes.
to Epstein, there's multiple islands.
Yeah.
And this island is where they bred the dinosaurs and then they brought them over to the other island.
Was that
okay,
it?
really dumb. I think that's really dumb.
I thought they cloned them on that. I don't know.
Didn't they clone them and breed them there and then bring them over? Like, but I feel that feels very like retconned. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, whatever.
They reached the center at the end. T-Rex on a boat.
Oh yeah. Okay. So okay. So they're packing it up. They're getting out. They leave, and then we're however many months it takes or however long later we're in San Diego. Right. They've come to Julianne Moore and Jeff Goldblum have come to whatever protest this event.
Yeah.
But the thing that I had forgotten, and I can't believe I forgot this, is that is it only the T-Rex and the babies on the boat, or are there other dinosaurs?
I think it's only the T-Rex.
Yeah.
Because I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yes.
It's
the
last voyage of the
last
Demeter.
voyage of the Demeter. Yeah. I had completely forgotten that they're like the ship's coming in too fast, and they go in.
It doesn't
and then
make
it's
any
like,
sense.
So the captain's hand is severed at the steering wheel.
Like the T-Rex was running around. It's huge.
Well, it must have been the baby, I guess. It must have been the baby going around hunting. I don't know.
And they couldn't bring the baby down. But then what happens to the baby? The baby's just like Where is the baby when it reaches ashore?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's like a ghost ship.
It's so funny. So that's the movie we should make. Is The Last Voyage of the Demeter, but
with
for
the T-Rex.
The Lost World Jurassic Park. Yeah.
It reminds me of that, like a beautiful sequence in Herzog's Nosferatu, where like the kind of ghost ship docks in the town, and then there's like is it like a parade of rats or something that go through the city or something like that?
Yes. Oh, isn't that a good movie? It's nice to talk about a good movie.
Excellent film. But yeah, so ghost ship docks in San Diego, and a T-Rex kind of runs havoc in the burbs for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, do you think there would have been enough to like sustain a whole movie on this bit? I mean, like
almost
T-Rex
certainly.
in the city, probably, right?
Yeah. I don't remember the movie at all, but I had a VHS copy of We're Back, A Dinosaur's Tale.
Yes.
And I would love to rewatch.
We should rewatch that.
Yeah. Like, I wonder what
Flapjacks. Remember that?
No, I don't remember anything about it.
We're gonna have to watch it.
Okay, yeah.
Because that was produced. That's a DreamWorks movie, isn't it?
Probably produced by Spielberg. Yeah.
His ideas, all of the leftover ideas for Jurassic Park.
He is responsible for so much, like, entertainment I consumed as a kid, like Pinky and the Brain, which is my introduction to Orson Welles.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Freakazoid was really cool. Yes. Animaniacs.
Your introduction to mental illness with Freakazoid. Yes.
Schizophrenia.
The Animaniacs, same deal. Yeah. Specifically sexual perversion.
and manic depression.
Yeah.
What were his other Amblin cartoons? I can't remember.
All that stuff is good, Yeah.
Great.
Anyway, you got a T-Rex. It's running around. It's eating people. I don't know. Whatever. It's fun, I guess.
And then they trick it back onto the boat.
Yeah,
or something?
Because they're driving the baby around. Right.
So they do get their hands on the baby.
They get their hands on the baby, and they're driving the baby around. I don't know. Like this is the point where I'm like, I stopped taking notes. I'm just like watching it. I'm like, this is just stupid. It's just like it's not very well constructed. It's just kind of dumb, and like I don't know. I just kind of lost interest, and the last little comeuppance or whatever, like for the evil nephew character, like he's left over in the boat for some reason, and the T-Rex is there, or no, he's stealing the baby, right? I don't fucking know. Who cares? Anyway, the T-Rex is like, go ahead, son. eat John Hammond's evil British nephew, played by American actor Arliss Howard, and he does.
And it's like the band Brass Eye episode, the Christopher Morris's show, where the pedophile shot into space. But
this is the last thing we wanted to happen, or whatever, right?
Yeah, they accidentally include a 10-year-old boy with them or something.
We should do the Brass Eye series.
Brass Eye was incredible. I thought
we'll do every episode of Brass Eye. It's only 6, 7 maybe. Who knows?
But and then it cuts to Jeff Goldblum and Julianne Moore. They're wiped out on the couch. Jeff Goldblum's daughter is watching John Hammond announce that Isla Nublar and Isla Sonar are going to be like nature preserves taken care of by the like Peruvian government or something like that.
Yeah, sure. Probably the Costa Rican government.
Right. That would make more sense.
I think so.
Yeah. It's a silly movie.
Yeah, and then we see the shot, similar to the shot of the pelicans or whatever. We see the actual, pterosaur,
right? The pterodactyl.
And that is going to come back in a big way in JP3.
Yes. And it's a good thing they didn't.
Also that ending, I'm like, oh, who cares? You know what I mean? There's no sense of like finality to it.
Well, also that ending, it was like, it's a good thing they didn't include these throughout the movie, because how would you ever contain fucking flying dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Is a big question. And also, how did they... Because in Jurassic Park 1, they're only breeding female dinosaurs to prevent them from breeding.
Mm-hmm.
How did the males get introduced again? Did they mention?
Yeah, well, in the first one, the whole reason why they're breeding, because they find the eggs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that some of the DNA that they filled in with frog DNA may have come from frogs that naturally can change sex.
Yes.
When they're in a unigendered environment. Or
Lucky
something.
fucking frogs is all I'll say.
Right, I know. Yeah, you're the only male tyrannosaur, and in a sea of females.
I just want to be birthed by a T-Rex.
Yes.
Don't ask me why.
I want to be all slimy. Roland Tumbo. He's the MVP of the movie. You know.
Okay, so I guess that explains it.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. I don't know. 2.5, 3 stars.
Yeah. How many giant piles of Triceratops, of sickly Triceratops poo, would you give this movie out of 5?
I mean, honestly, I'm just such a generous, loving, caring man, and I would probably give it 3.
Yeah, I'd give it 2.5 because I'm less.
I would maybe give it 2.5. There's something about it that is just kind of like pissy. It just has like a annoying attitude to it.
To me, it's too long. It's like 2 hours, 8 minutes, and the moments I really like are kind of too far and in between for me to really say that I enjoyed watching it.
I just feel like they dang fucked it up, you know? They just kind of...
They dang fucked up my dinosaurs.
They dropped the dang ball.
But
I don't know. There's something dumb about it.
It's part of the reason I'm really excited to rewatch Jurassic Park 3, because I know it's a breezy 90 minutes. It takes like a different tone. It's quite fast-paced. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited to rewatch that one personally.
Yeah, me too. And we will have to answer that question again. Like, you know, do we enjoy this movie more because it has the Spielberg touch that the third one doesn't, even if the third one is maybe in some ways a better movie? I guess we'll have to find out.
We will see.
I'm sure the third one is fucking dumb too. Like, you know, I feel like it's diminishing returns from here on out.
But I think if I remember, the third one doesn't have pretensions to be like anything else. Like, I think it is quite like just dumb
this
fun.
One, or?
Yeah, I don't know. Good point.
I don't think so. I think this one's just kind of like, it just feels kind of cynical.
I think the length of the third one will be a big boon to its
definitely. I mean, I couldn't believe it's 90 minutes long. Yeah, that's crazy.
It rips.
Yeah,
it truly rips.
Yeah.
And then that'll be it. That'll be the trilogy. That's it. Those are the
and then
Jurassic
we'll
Park
move
movies
on to
another
franchise. Yeah. That's great.
Perfect.
Hey, I've got a suggestion for the next franchise.
Yeah.
Jurassic World.
No.
Why don't we just knock them all out?
Oh. That's my T-Rex.
Oh yeah. It's too hot in here. This island, he does not sound like that.
I'm in a T-Rex's ass with Pete Postlethwaite.
This island. Wait, what happened to me? What happened to me? Oh, it's too hot. This island's too hot.
Hooah! Chris O'Donnell.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah, poor guy.
Poor guy. He's still kicking. Okay, well, I enjoyed watching that again and talking about it with you.
Yeah.
And I would like to watch and talk about Jurassic Park 3 perhaps in a week from now. Are you doing anything? How does this sound?
That can be arranged.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, exciting.
We hope you've been enjoying playing along. Hopefully,
yeah. I mean, I
ideally.
feel like everyone's seen these, right?
Yeah, rewatch them.
Yeah.
Rewatch the third one. Let's all
rewatch the third one. Yeah. Because now, like I was saying, diminishing returns. Jurassic World, I haven't seen it since it first came out. We're going to rewatch it. I got a pretty good idea of what I'm going to think about it.
Yeah.
There is a ceiling on how good the movie is, even for, you know, like a shocking reappraisal. Like, that's actually is kind of more interesting than I gave it credit for. There's a ceiling, right?
Yeah.
The second one, fucking really dumb. The third one, one of the worst movies genuinely one of the worst blockbusters I've ever seen. And I cannot believe I have to watch it again for this stupid fucking podcast, Alex. But we're going to do it. And we'll have to do it together.
Yeah.
Oh, it's interminable. It's gonna take a whole fucking day to watch it.
Hell yeah.
You're gonna have to pause
like
it.
Showa.
Yeah. Showa is 9.5 hours. We're gonna watch it straight through. It's gonna take 9.5 hours. Jurassic World Dominion is 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Because of how often we will have to pause it to take a piss, to vomit, to come, but like in a bad way.
Anger
to
comes.
hack a dart, to walk around with our hands on our heads.
Why?
It's going to take 3 days to finish the film. Thank you, Colin Trevorrow. And we will be talking about the rest of his oeuvre as
Yeah.
well, I'm sure. Anyway, yeah, those are going to be miserable. So really, all we have left for the next 4 weeks
To sustain.
is maybe Jurassic Park 3 will be
Joe
okay.
Johnston's
Joe
underrated masterwork.
Underrated? Question mark? We're gonna answer that question just for you. Yeah. Joe Johnston. Johnson, we got Johnson here.
Well, I like to know if you got the notion. 'Cause we're number one. I'm not trying to say my style is better than yours. I'm just on some other shit. I'm all about the beats and the lyrics. So when you hear it, you can feel it. The vibe is energized by the presence of my spirit.
No interference, we persevere. The purpose is clear. We're here to leave your ear hurting severe. You're lurking in fear, cause we take it back like Robin Loxley, rocking from countryside to spots where hard rocks
I
be.
often wonder if these oopsies even know how it feels to dedicate their whole life to this mic of steel. It's not about the bill, that's not keeping it real. A lot of tight rappers out here ain't got no deal.
We appeal to the brothers with flow finesse. Cause it's the 100-watt bloodshot game of death. Cause we're protected by the covenants of words and beats. Rewind and feel the heat, recline and take a seat. So let's take it back to the concrete streets. Original beats with real live MCs. Playground tactics, no rabbit and a hat tricks. Just that classic rap shit.